All right, it's election year again,
Yes.
and this is John Lacny, and John's running for the state representative seat for 20th district here in Michigan. In this area, we have quite a bit of Chinese American presentation here. So I'd like to have John reach out to us and talk about the important concerns. So, John, talk about district and yourself.
Well, this district, we have Plymouth, Northville, city and township, and a little piece of Canton, about 98,000 citizens. A big Chinese American community. And myself, I've lived in Plymouth or Northville for over 20 years. I've traveled all over the world with my job as a supply chain infrastructure executive in automotive and defense, and spent considerable time in Shanghai, Pudong, working on a project in the automotive group, in the automotive industry. And after a hard day's work, we'd have a few shots of Mau Tai to relax ourselves and have a good dinner, hot pot or whatever it might be.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
You like it, right?
Mm-hmm. Love it. Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so this year is full of surprises and chaotic events. The top on the list is the COVID, right? Mm-hmm. And with the COVID and with the repercussions, a lot of people, my friends in Chinese American community, they worry about the repercussions of COVID on the Asian, specifically Chinese Americans, and possible hate crimes that concerns them. And a lot of people remind themselves of Vince Chen tragedy back in the 80s. So any thoughts on that?
Well, in our district, you have no concern. Don't be concerned about protection against hate crimes. We put a lot of pride in our Department of Public Safety, our fire, EMT, and our police force. So they're well funded. And we are a nation of laws and a district of laws, and anything like that happens will be prosecuted to the fullest extent. That is, we have a history of that, and that's not going to stop. And as your rep, I'll ensure that continues.
Thank you. That's very assuring.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Secondly, this year in the election, we heard about what happened in California. They put Prop 16 on the ballot. They will reverse the decade-long rule of law that race should not be used in college admissions. So, Asian Americans value education. So there's a lot of concerns on that. So, and Michigan, we understand, is one of the few states that race as the criteria in college admission is illegal. So what's your thought on that one?
Well, we're going to continue to keep that illegal. I think being admitted based on race is a form of racism. And be assured that we've had experience in the past that didn't work out. We're going to continue to maintain this judgment rule to keep that out of the decision-making process for admission to any school, whether it's kindergarten through 12 or college or advanced learning. So be assured that as your rep, I will continue to fight that. My father was a lifelong educator, my late father, in the public school system as a principal and a teacher and a coach. And he, as a Democrat, and saw how that didn't work. So be comfortable that we'll be looking at making sure that this continues as is.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
Yep, thank you. So also in the past few months, we saw a lot of chaotic events on our streets in our great cities in America. Looting, burning, and those kind of stuff. It does scare a lot of people. And then the defund police hysteria, it doesn't sit very well with us. So what will be your take on that?
Well, again, in our district, we don't support defunding the police and this violence in our communities. I've knocked on 20,000 doors since the primary, personally, outside of our great ground team. And the number one issue is safety of their home and their children, and the second step basically with economy and education. So you have my assurances here as a state rep, but also I can tell you our current supervisors in our townships fully support our Department of Public Safety and will continue to protect our citizens.
Thank you. We're lucky to live in such a district.
Yes.
Right. And the last question about taxes. And we know that Whitmer tried to impose the gasoline tax, and Republican-controlled legislature shut it down last year, right, or a year ago. So what will be your position as a state rep on taxes, and what's your understanding of tax on the effective economy of Michigan and attracting people and business here?
Well, first and foremost, you can go to my website, electlacny.com, to look about the gas tax. Check that out. That gas tax increase was shut down, and I just want to make it very, very clear that that gas tax was not driveway to highway. It was only for state roads. Okay? Secondly, I've never voted for a tax increase, nor I'll ever vote for a tax increase. I'm a fiscal conservative. What I like to see is doing some tax rollbacks to get our economy jump-started through this COVID, and also get a jump-start to get people back to work. There are plenty of job opportunities, and we have to get out of this malaise with the stimulus and get people back to work and let our local communities and our small business and big business working on the employment issue. So, in summary, no taxes from me. We have to evaluate how we're spending our money, where we're spending it. It's going to be tough times, so there may be a push from the Democrats for a tax increase, but you'll never see me vote yes on that. And I think that you'll see the majority of the Republicans will be like that too, because it's just be devastating to our economy.
Okay. Well, thank you, John, for reaching out to the Chinese American community in Northville, Plymouth Township.
Well, I thank you very much for your time, Gary, and you're close to my heart. A lot of experience in your home country, and welcome to our country. And you're a very, very valuable asset to our district. And I'd like you to check right below me on this YouTube show, where you can look me up and see what I'm all about, including donating to my campaign, which will help greatly to get it across the line. Thank you.
Thank you. Please vote.